Hi,
I am Antonio Resendere,
and I'm Kabudsan John Roland.
and we are reporting Project Risk Management.
Project Risk Management. It involves the identification of the risk, analyzing the risk, and responding to the risk that you might encounter when you are building a project.
There are 6 topics that are involved in Project Risk Management. They are the risk management planning, risk identification, qualitative risk analysis, quantitative risk analysis, risk response planning, and risk monitoring and control.
First topic is the risk management planning. This is where you will think how you will resolve the risk based on your ongoing project.
Risk identification. This is where you will identify the risk that will most likely affect your project.
Qualitative risk involve characterizing and analyzing risk and prioritizing their effects on project objectives.
Quantitative risk analysis involves measuring the probability and consequences of risk and estimating their effects on project objectives.
Risk response planning involves on enhancing opportunities and reduce threats to meeting project objectives.
Risk monitoring and control involves monitoring known risk, identifying your risk, reducing risk, and evaluating the effectiveness of risk reduction.
Risk management plan. This is where documentation of the procedures takes place.
Risk mitigation. It's like pros and cons. If you don't want things to happen, you should prevent the reasons of its occurrence.
Risk management planning also includes contingency plans, fallback plans, and contingency reserves.
Tools and techniques for identifying risks.
Number 1. Reviewing your project documentation.
Number 2. Analyzing your project assumptions.
And lastly, gather some risk-related information.
Information gathering techniques in risk identifications.
Brainstorming. This is where you and your team member will group up and tell your opinion about your project.
Delphi technique uses repeated rounds of questioning and written response rounds of questioning and written response.
Interviewing is gathering information through other people by asking them a few questions.
SWOT analysis, where S stands for strength, W stands for weakness, stands for opportunity, and T for threat.
2 other technique for risk identification.
Checklist, backreading your previous projects.
Diagramming. This is where cause and effect comes.
2 main outputs of risk identification process.
Risk events and triggers or risk symptoms.
Risk response planning. Risk avoidance is like preventing what is the cause of the risk. Risk acceptance is accepting the consequences of the risk when it occurs.
Risk transference. Transferring the responsibility for its management to the third party.
Risk mitigation, reducing the impact of the risk by preventing its cause.
Residual risk. The remaining risk after all strategies have been implemented. Secondary risk. Direct result of implementing a risk response. Thank you. The end.
Created using Powtoon.